Ladies and gents, my friends, my people, my brothers, we're back with another episode of Wrestling Changed My Life. It's been a little bit spotty lately, I'll admit. I started a new job about 8 weeks ago, and sometimes things take a back seat. But we have a new one for you today. This one's with my brother, Tanner Warner, and we have a lot of fun on this one. Please enjoy. And later this week, I'm recording with Corey Jansen. We're going to have some things coming up here. So we'll get back to a normal cadence. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy this episode of Wrestling Changed My Life.
Well, I was a fanatic. There's no doubt, a fanatic. My goal was to get carried out of the wrestling room because of exhaustion, and it never happened. The thing it did for me every day about 6 o'clock is that when I got out, I looked back in and there was nobody else there. Bottom line was, I didn't reach my goal. So guess what happened? I went back in the room again. But I got some quality time because of just some kind of a fanatic goal.
Let's roll. We're here live at the podcast. Brother T-Dob stopping in today. Howdy.
How we doing?
Doing good. Folks, we just had a little bit of yoga this morning, had a little breakfast.
Vicious yoga session.
Vicious. Took 45 minutes to order chicken waffles. We're not sure why.
The breakfast was, food was good, service was fine, the delivery was, we were there for an hour and a half.
Tanner claims I've gone how many years without...
28 straight years without a good food recommendation.
Which
Folks,
we know is not true.
It's the craziest streak.
What about Young's Chinese?
The worst Chinese you've ever had.
Lies.
It's terrible.
Filthy little
You don't even
lies.
like Young's anymore.
Oh, yeah, out of spite. Absolutely out of spite.
For the listeners out there, we need to know your go-to Chinese order. Here's mine, beef and broccoli. Ryan says that's not Chinese order.
Beef and broccoli. What is that? I mean, it's just flaps of meat and a couple of broccoli sprouts. The only order is sesame chicken with crab ragoon and maybe, what are those dumpling things called I like?
Egg roll?
Not egg roll.
Oh.
Pot sticker.
Yeah, stupidest name.
Here's the order.
Go ahead.
Here's the order. It's Saturday night, about 3 o'clock.
PM?
Saturday afternoon, excuse me.
Okay.
At 3 o'clock. You got the UFC coming on in an hour. You and the boys are at home. You got the beers going. And it's time to eat.
The last thing I'm ordering.
Here's the order.
Chicken and a pot sticker.
Here's what Ryan recommends. Sesame chicken, fried rice, crab ragoon, pot stickers, extra duck sauce.
He's also hanging out with third graders at an elementary school, because that's an elementary school order. We all know that, folks.
How could you say that?
graduated from sesame chicken and orange chicken after 5th grade.
We'll move on. But disagree strongly. What's your Mexican food order?
Enchiladas.
Middle of the road, if I've ever seen it. Okay.
What do you go with?
Huh?
What do you go with
Well, it depends on my mood.
right now?
Well, I just had a burrito, so I'm not going to get that. Right now, I'd go with fajita.
The fajita, as Brendan Schaub said, is the bottle service of Mexican food. Hey, look at me. I got a flaming hot piece of meat. Pass.
Schaub says that?
Yeah.
When's he going to go on tour?
He is touring. Well, his special comes out in May. He's already retouring.
Have you seen him?
I've seen Schaub. He opened for comedy.
When are we going to the Comedy Store in Los Angeles?
That's the real question. We need a Tuesday night trip.
Tuesday night? Why not a weekend? I guess they don't...
They're not there in the week. They're all touring.
Tuesday.
All the big ones are Tuesday,
So
Wednesday nights.
So maybe you fly in Tuesday morning, you get to the hotel, cocktails are flowing. Show up to the store, what, about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock? I guess whenever the doors open. Oh.
That'll do, though.
Add it to the list.
It's added. Consider it added. Let's
Okay.
get the companion pass flipped over.
Sorry, O'Connor, you're out on the pass.
See you.
We'll re-add you next year. So, this is a wrestling podcast. You wouldn't think so based on the first 3 minutes of this conversation,
But if you see us right now, we both live in the past life. We both have wrestling clothes on that we can't get rid of.
Chattanooga Wrestling hooded sweatshirt for yours truly. My under. Don't be. Tanner's cat right now is a little monkey cat.
I'm wearing College Hawks till I die. Shorts, t-shirt. That's it.
Represent Ethan Ball. Where you at, dog? Where you at, Ethan Ball? E-Beezy.
You know he's at the local pub, serving a Busch Light, thinking about the past.
Co-Hawk till he dies. We love Co-College. Shout out Co-College, Co-Hawks. So,
Listening, the wrestling booster meeting is next Saturday at Rock Bar, so if you want to go out and support your
at Rock Bar.
I'll support your local co-ops. You know where to go.
Oh!
How are you gonna how much editing are you gonna do?
Zero editing. We're pushing this out live.
No. We're gonna edit the hell out of it.
Okay. So, Rock Bar next Saturday. Be there for the Co-Hawks. Okay. So you wrestled there at Co-College. Oh.
I did not look at you. Okay. Here we go. This is way more normal.
So, folks, we're in Tanner's condo right next to Wrigley. It's Saturday morning here. Sunshine and flags are flying. We're in an L-shaped couch. I'm facing the porch, if you will. Tanner's got his back to me, also facing the porch. And now we're...
That's how we sit.
That's how we sit. Oh, and so, Tanner, for the listeners who don't know, you're my brother. Take them through your early years in wrestling.
Okay.
Take them through.
So we started when we were in kindergarten. Few practices here and there a week. Nothing. And we didn't start wrestling tournaments, I think, till, I don't know, first, second grade.
Oh, I think later than that.
Later than that, third, fourth grade. First match was against fellow Co-Hawk, two-time national champion, four-time All-American Clayton Rush. And he decided to T-follow me onto my head.
How'd that go?
It's almost impossible to text someone within 3 minutes. He did it. Afterwards.
Powerful Clayton Rush.
Powerful Clayton Rush. So I appreciate that. That really got me.
That was your first match?
Ever.
No way.
I swear on my life.
Ooh.
I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. He was wearing a singlet. At that point, I knew I was in the wrong place.
Nothing worse than showing up in your shorts and t-shirt for your first tournament. Maybe not even wearing wrestling shoes. Maybe wearing gym shoes.
I think we had wrestling shoes.
We had wrestling shoes.
In the Nikes, yeah.
That tournament at Assumption was a tough go for the family. 0-6.
Oh.
I was tech followed by a female.
Oh, we'll scratch that.
And tough.
Yeah, it was tough. So Rush put me on. So I couldn't go any lower, so I knew where to go from there, and it was up.
Almost as tough as the trip to Tulsa.
We crap talked about that the other weekend, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
We went to.
Before we go off on a tangent here, I'll just continue with my story.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
And then we wrestled up in tournaments every weekend during season. I didn't do any off-season wrestling until high school, really, ever. And then I won my first tournament in 6th grade. Then after that, it was on. When did you win your first tournament?
I think about that 6th grade, and then
go ahead.
The crazy thing is that we were 500 for several years,
For forever.
like 2 years in a row. Dad's ready to hang himself. And then 6th grade kicked, and I started winning some tournaments. You started winning some tournaments, and then your 7th grade year is when you hit the stride, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think. 6th grade, if I qualified for state or not. I must not.
I don't think you did.
Because I would have been there. So I wasn't. Funny story about my first tournament I ever won. Ryan got our mom kicked out because he was getting beat so bad he screamed. And my mom thought he was being choked. So.
Who was that?
Memorial. It was a high-low tournament day for the Warner family. High for me, low for him. So got that as a good take.
Scream by the choke.
Mount
Even
Faith.
worse, though,
Continue.
the previous year.
Okay. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. We're at the Rockford Bad Boys tournament. And Tanner likes to tell this story in college. Why don't you share the story?
So there I was, doing my 500 wrestling. I think I was sub 500 today. I think I was a 0. And third match of the day, just been getting piss pounded all day. Last match, I think I got grazed in the eye. I let out a wail like you've never heard before. Like I just got assassinated. Dad comes out and goes, "Son, you're just not tough enough." And walked off the mat.
Dude, turn around and face me.
I can't. This is working. So there we were. I'm 5th grade. I'm on the mat, fake crying. Dad keeps it real. And I'm like, fuck, he's right. So I get up, lose that match. Then go over to watch my brother's last match. It was against Dalton Bullard, who's a D3 national champ. Stud. He, who a fellow Quahawk beat in the first round his senior year, Jordan Muswell, shout out. On his way to a 2nd place finish. But he wrestled my brother that day. So this tournament itself, folks, was chaotic. They didn't have enough refs. The refs just left during the day. It took forever.
Dads in t-shirts out there.
It was wild.
Chaos.
Last match of the day, Ryan versus Dalton Bullard, turns into a just boxing match. I mean,
a melee. Absolute melee.
Our older brother Nick and my dad were out there they were fighting the other dad. It was pure chaos.
What happens was...
Meanwhile, I have an eye patch on for my injury.
I throw him in an early headlock. I'm up 5-0. He snaps out of his coma, takes me down, puts the legs in, and proceeds to put a forearm in the back of my neck. Coaches didn't like it. Our dads and his dad got into a fight. We're out there. I'm still getting pounded.
The whole time, the melee's going on the sidelines. Dalton's just doing his thing to Ryan.
Tanner's sitting there with an eye patch eating Dippin' Dots.
Ice cream of the future. Still waiting on that future.
That was the ice cream of the wrestling tournaments.
Yeah,
Dippin' Dots.
They keep calling ice cream of the future. It's been 15 years.
It hasn't taken on yet, has it? You can't get it at the store. Just the problem.
A bucket of dots.
Distribution problem.
Real problem.
So that's your.
So then 7th grade hits.
That's your.
That was earlier 6th grade. Oops.
Tanner just jumped up to run to the trash can. Dropped the mic on the ground. Sorry, listeners.
That,
that must have been my 6th grade, your 5th grade year.
So that was the tournament that you bought your USA singlet, I recall. So
that's like.
It had to be your 6th grade.
Yeah, it was my 6th grade, your 5th grade.
Yeah. So folks, I saw it in a whole other year of 500 wrestling.
Just a whole another year of. Tanner used to bring, as a 6th grader, most 6th graders don't consume this, but he used to bring Tylenol to the tournaments with him.
Yeah, I mean, and that'll take us on a different road.
But you've never seen a 6th grader carry around a bottle of Tylenol before. He brought him to the tournament, though.
Only if I would have known the only cure was to be a better wrestler and my head was getting pounded the whole time, I'd be okay.
Mm-hmm. So then that takes us to your 7th grade year, which is where things switched.
Yeah, so they switched. So that was the first year, at least in our school, you could wrestle for the middle school team. So part of that team. And I don't really know exactly what happened. I lifted with Dad throughout the summer and then lifted throughout the season, and it just switched. So I won all the time. Only lost a couple in the middle school. Probably lost a tournament or two in IK. One tournament I never did good at my entire life was the IKWF Open.
In Peoria?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know what was going on with that tournament, but...
This was a tough one.
I don't get it, though. I mean, it was basically a state tournament, which is how you want to stack up. Didn't stack well. And I remember I cut to 70, and then they'd had a 70, so they lumped me with the 74 or 79, which immediately is not cool.
No. So you did... Okay, I do actually remember that now.
I don't think I ever placed at that tournament.
That one is, folks, it's like a...
It's a halfway state tournament.
Halfway state tournament. It's like a hockey arena, but there's no coaches on the floor. And the mats are about the size of a...
They're really small, that's right. But the main thing about the ice is the mats are hard as a rock.
Yeah, it's sitting on... It's like ice, a little piece of plywood, then wrestling mats.
Yeah.
It's probably 10 full-size mats, but then make it into 30 circles, maybe.
Yeah, real small.
No coaches allowed. Kids are down on the floor. Chaos.
Yeah. The coaches wrestling wasn't too big of a deal, but the main thing, yeah, I forgot about the size of circles. They were just rock hard mats, though, I recall.
Yeah.
That sucked.
So you're like what, 30-2 this year? Your 7th grade year?
I mean, so
call it 30-2. You go to the state tournament. Now, going into the state tournament, you'd never placed before, never qualified. What were your expectations going in?
Place.
Okay. Fair. Okay. And at this time, folks, on the background, we had a side bet with our mother and father.
Oh, one held up.
Dad did not hold up his end of the bargain. That if we both placed at state this year, they'd quit smoking. So I remember Friday was a good day for the family. I beat Mark Allgirl in the quarters to go to the semis. You make the semis as well. Mm-hmm. And so Saturday morning, we're both in the semifinals of the state tournament.
Not a bad place to be.
Not a bad place to be. I run into Ryan Prater. Doesn't go so well for me. And then you ended up winning.
I think was it that year Spangler or second year Spangler? 1 year was Spangler and 1 year was...
Second year was Spangler. Yeah.
I don't remember for sure.
No, me either. So you are in the finals. What do you remember thinking before the match? Or even like before the semis match?
I was never nervous. The nervous thing never got to me like it got to most folks. You just never... I don't know, I could always deal with that, so...
I can't say the same.
No, you cannot. I've never seen someone the nerves affect more.
So why do you think you didn't get nervous?
I don't know. I just never did. Even in high school, college, I raced dirt bikes. I never did. I don't know. It's just something I could deal with. Especially in those years when I was working really hard, it was easy to just know that you put all the effort in off the mat. So there's not much else you could do. I don't know. Nerves just never got to me. So it was always easy for me to be loose and just wrestle my style the whole time. So that's all I did. I think I won by 1 point in the semis. In the finals, I still wasn't really nervous. I mean, it was cool, calm and collected. You walked with me in the march.
I was going to say, that was a good time.
That was a great time.
Great time.
That's where we invented our handshake, because we were next to about 38 Harvey Twisters, because they were all in the finals. And we saw their handshakes in the back room. We should do something cool like that.
As a young kid coming from the farm town, coming to the tournaments in Chicago, to see the Harvey Twisters in red, BJ Futrell, Cartiz Lloyd, Mario Morgan, nothing more scary. Killers. Nothing more terrifying. Not to mention they were all really good. They all had these red jumpsuits, hoods up.
They didn't say a word to anybody.
They didn't speak, they didn't smile, they didn't breathe.
Shredded. Somehow in middle school.
Absolute shredded. You've never seen anything like it. And that was the first year, well, the year before that was when they came back in the IKWF. They used to be in the IWF.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate them coming back that year.
Yes.
I didn't wrestle once, so I actually didn't.
It
was cool. So we're back in the
tunnel.
The tunnel. There you go. Getting ready. Ryan's first time back there as well as mine. Ryan feels the need to put me through like a 30-minute college workout to get ready for this match. I'm exhausted. I'm like, all right, maybe we should take it easy. But then we had the march. That takes a while. So folks don't know what the march is. It's the whole stadium completely sold out. And then it's the two finalists, and they do a Parade of Champions march, face off, all lights are on you, and then that's it. Then the match starts. So that was the first match of the night. Russell Brendan Murphy, right?
Vidum Cats.
Vidum Cats, yeah.
The Vidum Cat.
Vidum Cat. And he majored me that year, and then that was it for the 7th grade year. And I think we wrestled freestyle that year.
A little bit
here and there. I think I won a couple of those tournaments. I do recall, I don't know if this is 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, but my very first freestyle match ever, so folks, quick step back. First freestyle match was against Clayton Rush, 2-time national champion, 4-time All-American. My first freestyle match was against Tony Ramos.
Ooh. And he's mean.
Oh, God.
He's mean. Former guest.
Podcast attendee.
Former guest. Shout out. Getting ready for the U.S. Open.
Yep. Is he wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
21? Holy shit.
No, well, it's not 120. It's not 120 pounds, is it?
55, 57 kg? Whatever it is.
Anyway.
He's doing that?
Yeah.
Jesus. Animal. So first freestyle match is against him. I recall minimal amounts of the match because it was the most painful 4 minutes. He was so fast, so strong, so much better than me. It blew my mind. He beat the hell out of me for about, like I said, 4 minutes. Teched me, got that done real quick. That was at Elmhurst College, I recall. I remember my mom coming up to me, she's like, hey, just so you know, it's basically the Jimmy Kennedy of freestyle. I'm like, well, that's great, Mom.
And speaking of Jimmy Kennedy, were you at Northern Plains the year I had to wrestle him in Greco?
I certainly was.
Woo, doggy.
So we had some just monsters.
Big Marvin Peterson was my coach. Shout out to Big Marvin Peterson.
Big Marvin.
Gnarly workouts in his basement with him, his kids, Marcus and Marvin.
Yeah.
This guy was such an animal dad that his son, Marvin, who's my age, was in the state finals, got his braces tangled up, and his dad ripped the braces off the mouth mid-match.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's messed up.
Mm-hmm. So we're in the Northern Plains freestyle tournament in the spring. I have Jimmy Candy. I think I have a chance. It's a Greco match, so there's only one way to go here, and it's ugly. Absolutely ugly. And randomly, fast forward 8 years, when I'm coaching DeFreeze in the state finals, who's up there before DeFreeze? Cameron Kennedy. And Old Man Kennedy's right there. Says hello.
There you go. Sorry for my kids.
So, your 8th grade year, you also get second.
Yep.
High school.
It's okay.
Yeah, went okay. You had some great matches.
Freshman year, I was really, really small. So the first weight's 103. Only weighed at 87 pounds. So won 20 matches varsity, lost a few.
Mm-hmm.
Cruise our house, bombed me.
Oh, the Cedar Falls tournament.
Unconscious. I mean,
literally unconscious.
Yeah, I got taken out of stretcher. It was a vicious throw. Sophomore year I did fine. You got Alyssa Joe Roth 5 times in 1 year. He beat me for 3rd and 4th on second.
Oh, that was that year.
Mm-hmm.
That was you actually had a good year that year.
It was a very good year. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was that year.
Played solid tournaments. Yeah, that was good. Then, like I said, Roth beat me 5 times that year. 3rd and 4th. The junior year, I was off all year. The senior year, I got in some trouble and just didn't wrestle the whole year. And then we, shortly after is when we started Outlaw.
Then the fun starts.
Yeah. We started Outlaw Wrestling Club, which is great because we had to give back to the sport that gave everything. It created us into what we are today. It gave us everything that we have.
Wrestling did.
Wrestling did, yeah. 100%.
So we start this freestyle and Greco club, off-season club. First year is like 16 kids to do it. But the third year, there's over 90 kids. Do you remember that one year we were at UT and we walked into the wrestling room and the room was full. And we had to start doing 2 practices a night. You little kids first and then the high schoolers later. Some of those rooms were gnarly, dude.
Oh, man, they were tough. It was the best of the entire Quad Cities and some surrounding areas in one room, twice a week for an hour and a half. And it was brutal.
Brutal. We had kids from an hour north coming down, Iowa coming down, I mean, all over. And
awesome.
Against a vaunted competitor across town.
Mm-hmm. Who shall we rename nameless?
Who shall remain nameless, but we hate you.
We ended up doing really, really well.
We would take
50 kids.
Back then, we would take 30, 40 kids to Freestyle State.
Yeah.
Who knows how many are in Freestyle State now? Probably nowhere near that amount.
Right. Yeah, that club was the best. I mean,
it was so fun.
Everyone wanted to wrestle in the summer, and we gave them that opportunity. And all the money that they paid us to coach them went right back into us. We went to a tournament every weekend with the Freestyle State, which was a riot.
And that's when I used to take the parents' vans, and I thought that I just assumed they all had the iPass.
Straight through the
toll lanes. We'd take the kids up there. I knew every dirt on every kid from 3-hour radius. I mean, the kids would tell you everything, dude. It was crazy. We were so close with them.
And it was such a different time, too. So the parents they'd send them with us for the weekend. They'd stay with us at our house. In the morning, we'd wake up, go, then they'd go home.
Crazy.
You can't do that anymore.
No, you can't do that. They'd stay with us. We went up to North Dakota. We went all over with these kids. It was an amazing time. Yeah. And the room was so tough.
That's what made everyone so good.
So good.
It was crazy.
So, what is your favorite memory from the Outlaw days?
So, one of my favorites is that day when we walked in and saw all those people. Love that. All the kids.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed going to Freestyle State and having, like you said, 30, 40 kids wearing Outlaw gear. That was sick. I also enjoyed the folk style season after our first big year. Almost all the top kids were wearing our stuff at all the tournaments. So it's cool to see them represented. They enjoyed working out with us coaching them. We enjoyed coaching them. And wouldn't have worked if the parents wouldn't have liked us, the kids wouldn't have liked us. I mean, it just speaks to kind of how we were raised, what the sport did for us.
Yeah, no, it did. The year the Connor Ryan, all the Bettendorf kids came over, that was the year of...
That was the year.
Oh, my God. We would go to these tournaments, show up 30 deep.
Wreck everyone,
dude. It was crazy. It was awesome. So that was a great time. That was the Outlaw Club. I'd like to do that again at some point. But looking back now, you're like, how did these coaches have any time to do this? Now that we have real jobs, I don't know how they have time to coach.
It's impressive.
Impressive. It really is. So then after... then you went to Co. Let's talk about Co for a little bit.
about 2 years out of high school. I didn't go to college right away. I worked construction. I took a class or two at a local community college. And then it was just, I had the itch really, really bad, especially for coaching. And one of our great friends, Ethan Ball, was at Co., which is a great program. And I decided to go out there and talk to Coach O. And went there for a year. And it was probably the best year of my life. I loved it there.
Mm-hmm.
The team was amazing. That group of friends was great. I'm still close friends with all those guys today. And I only wrestled there for a year. And
great. Co-college, amazing program.
The best.
Great people.
I learned so much about wrestling in that 1 year. My very first...
Like what?
Everything, there's just such a learning curve. So my very first practice, I didn't score a takedown for probably a month. It was awful. My first practice, I wrestled Drew Hitchberger. And the biggest difference, in my opinion, from high school to college is top and bottom. That dude rode me for 40 minutes straight.
Nothing worse.
His arms were everywhere. His legs were everywhere. I couldn't breathe. It was brutal.
You literally can't get out. If you can't get out, you're not getting out.
You're not getting out.
No.
Yeah. And then some vicious workouts. They were awesome. We also had the very last workout of the year before everyone went home for summer was me and Gatto just, Coach O came in and said, all right, wrestle someone quits. Me and Gatto wrestled for 58 minutes. Jimmy Gatto, a two-time All-American finalist.
Powerful Jimmy Gatto.
Wrestled for 58 minutes and just turning into a straight fist fight. We were in the lobby at one point. I mean, covering each other's face, trying to get him to quit. No one quit. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was the best. So, I mean,
wow.
That year, but also college wrestling, I mean, 2 full-time jobs. You have school at a elite academic school, and then you have your wrestling. It's 2-a-days for 6 months of the year. But it's
crazy. And
the best part is, I mean, it never felt. I used to hate practice in high school. You know, it was usually just because I wasn't as close with the entire team or getting along as well with the coaches, but I loved every part of that at Co. So Coach O was the best. Coach Case, he's the man. Rush, and all my friends were on that team, so it was perfect.
Do you remember going to nationals that year?
That was a wild time. A few of us boys slept in the stairwell.
Up at lacrosse, oh baby.
Me and Boyer and Jack and a couple people slept in the stairwell.
Yeah.
That
was that one.
Dark times.
That one will put a quiver on the body.
I'm quivering.
So then you know, before we you kind of wrap this up, but now you're in the real world, right? You're an accountant. Mm-hmm. You're doing your thing. What, are you still an accountant?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Looking back, what would you say wrestling has taught you? Like, what are a couple things that it gave you that you still use to this day, would you say?
I use, almost every single day I use something from wrestling. So the hard work, wrestling teaches you, it's the hardest sport in the world. It teaches you that hard work early on. Because if you're not working hard, you'll get piss pounded for years and years and go 500 like yards. Mm-hmm. So until you flip that trigger and start working hard and start winning, I mean, you'll be adequate, right? So, and then...
So hard work,
overcoming some perseverance, and really just dealing with obstacles all the time, which you deal with every single day in the real world. Yeah. I mean, you got to... It really comes back in my mind to hard work and just overcoming obstacles. Mm-hmm. It's everything.
Okay. All right. Rapid fire questions.
Go. You're usually pretty bad at these.
Rapid fire questions.
Rapid it up. Go.
So, me, I'm going to start with.
What's it taught you?
Huh?
Same exact things? Taught you the same things? Just that brutal hard work?
Oh, what's it taught me? Yeah, obviously, that if you work hard, if you're disciplined, you'll get the results, which I don't think you learn if you're not in sports.
Agreed.
Mental toughness to an insane level where, like, you're willing to push through obstacles, like, to get what you want. I mean, it's...
Your entire wrestling practice, you're working out at a high elite level.
And cutting weight.
On an empty stomach, yeah.
Yeah, and cutting weight.
It's something that... In my mind, that's sport. That's the only sport.
So mental toughness is tough to like define what it is, but it's like, I don't know, just like being able to keep going despite the obstacles, and then confidence, like self-confidence, like knowing that if you walk down the street, unless that person's like a better wrestler than you, there's no way they can handle you. It doesn't matter.
I've never had a non-confident wrestler.
No, so confidence is key, and then.
I really think Chris DeVito.
Love you, DeVito.
Love you.
And then the last thing I would say is ability to handle pressure. And, like, not panic and freak out if things don't go your way. Or, like...
How'd you do with that?
Huh?
How'd you do with that?
Not well. Not well during my day. But... Or, like, just doing things hungry. Like, you ever go on a date with a girlfriend, and they get hangry, as they call it?
Oh.
All women do this.
Yes. Oh, and men sometimes.
And men, but mostly women. It's like, I don't know. You don't get that because like you used to do a lot more.
What does wrestling taught me? To do things hungry.
Hangry. Yeah, you don't get that. So that's how I would sum it up. But obviously, it's the most important sport in the world.
Let's flip into you real quick, though. Hit us with your recap from freshman to senior year of high school.
Well, I loved it. It was awesome. You know, I thought about it all the time. Really revolved my life around it.
Hardest sport I've ever seen in a sport.
What?
Crazy. You.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. No, I was obsessed with it. I loved it. It didn't seem like a chore until like my senior years when it seemed like work, which I don't know why.
Our biggest difference was, I think, in the summer I did other sports. So I was playing baseball.
Yeah.
Bikes. You were only wrestling.
Yeah.
For forever.
I only wrestled. But like summer between my junior and senior year, I didn't do that much. Like I could have done. Looking back now, I could have done way more.
Yeah.
I
also don't think specializing is the right move. Maybe at that time you specialized.
Maybe at that time.
Senior,
I wish I could have wrestled for Askren's club. The way he does it seems like he has it right, dude.
Yeah. So I don't think he's special. I'm completely against specializing until junior or senior year. Then
I think earlier than that. I think like 8th grade year on.
No.
Oh yeah.
No way.
I think 8th grade year on you start specializing, or maybe high school on you start specializing.
That's what happened to you.
I was doing it, but I think I was just lazy.
Probably.
I don't know, but a lot of during the summer, my practices were just by myself. It was me and like Murray. There was no one else to work out with, or like me. I would wake up in the summer. I didn't have a job. Yep. I'd run, and then I'd go to the community center. Joel Miller would meet me there. We'd lift weights. Then I'd go home. I'd hang out for a little bit. And then I'd go work out at 3 o'clock, but it'd just be like me and Murray. Like I had no club. It was bizarro.
Yeah, that was the big. I don't ever remember a huge freestyle club. So overtime, honestly, is the best, right? I don't know if it's still the best, but probably. I just don't remember any of that when we were in
no club
high school.
Yeah,
like, our freestyle state was small.
Oh, freestyle state used to be one day.
One day, yeah.
Yeah. So
3 days now.
I loved it though, man. I had a great time in high school wrestling.
You were just done with that procedure.
Had some good success, yeah. And then so that's the thing. People always said when I didn't wrestle in college, like you're gonna regret it. I really don't regret it.
That's good.
But when I started going around you guys at Co, I started regretting it a little bit because it was so much fun.
It was the best. That room.
I feel like we got that in by coaching though. Like coaching was so much fun with the Outlaw Club.
It's hands down probably my favorite. Besides wrestling at Co, my favorite thing I've ever done was wrestling.
For sure.
Is giving back and coaching those kids and grinding with those kids 2 days a week for 3 months.
And like running a business like that, it was awesome. Remember the one time when they shut down the wrestling room?
Let's say there's an obstacle way to come. Yeah, so that happened.
Somehow every time we'd place an order,
shirts would be missing.
Shirts would be missing. No. How? I don't understand. I mean, one little kid would be heartbroken.
We're ordering 300 articles of clothing.
Hundreds, yeah. Hundreds. So no, I loved it. Loved wrestling. You know, if I have kids and they don't want to wrestle, that's fine. But I hope they do.
Yeah, I mean,
I want them to do what they want to do. How do you think about that?
Hopefully, I'm gonna push it and just kind of give the talk that we're giving now. What it's done for me. It'd be hard for them to register at that young of an age, but also just kind of put a realistic, kind of like Dad did for us. He's like, listen, you guys are small, you can't play football. You're not gonna be able to play basketball. He's like, this is a sport where you can excel because you're competing against someone the exact same size as you. That was a big selling point for me as a kid. Yeah. Like, well, shit, that makes sense. Let's start working with this.
Yep.
So, I definitely want them to wrestle.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's the best sport, and the community is really tight. Great community.
Crazy people.
Okay. Rapid fire.
Go.
Yoel Romero versus Ben Askren.
Well, Yoel Romero is like 215 pounds.
Yoel Romero versus Ben Askren. Who wins?
Probably Yoel.
Okay. Favorite two. I know you're gonna say it for one. Favorite 2 books.
Just to be clear, I love Askren.
Love Askren. The best. Favorite 2 books.
Shoe Dog. Second favorite book. Let's see what's been another good one I've read. Let's say first half of Aubrey Marcus's book, and what else has been good? I really enjoyed. I see that reading it. Ooh, Goggins' book I'm reading right now is really good.
Good?
Yeah, really good. So I'll go with those 2.
How is Living with a Seal?
It was good. Look, Jesse Etzler book.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was a fun read, quick, but it was good. So if folks don't know, that's Jesse Etzler. He's this crazy guy, but he's a
billionaire.
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur. He's a great follow on Instagram, but he always puts himself through these crazy tasking situation. So he paid David Goggins to live with him for 30 days and had to do everything he said at the moment he said it. So they do these insane workouts, go for runs, get in a freezing lake, punch through the ice. I mean, all this. He also lived with a monk for 60 days. He's doing this. He's doing another incredibly tasking thing right now where he has to. I don't understand that.
What is he doing?
But he's running through the desert, through snow, and then up some. He's doing some stuff. So
He's doing some stuff.
I don't know.
Long distance endurance tests, huh?
All things that task the body. He always says, "Build your life resume," which is a cool thing to say.
I like that.
Yeah.
Build your life resume. He's the guy who used to run like 3 miles a day. Then he's like, I'm doing enough. And then one day he's like, not one day, but eventually he could run like a 100-mile race. He's like, I was under indexing by 97%. Crazy.
Yeah.
So, okay. Books. I love UFC stuff, so I won't go back there.
Yeah, hit it.
Dream UFC matchup for you to watch.
GSP Askren. Oh, no. Disregard. Askren could be.
Askren could be the best. That would be the best. To me, it's Romero, John Jones.
Dude, Romero's 98.
I don't hear anyone talk
He's
about that.
Sick. Can't make weight.
Or Stipe versus John Jones.
Yeah, doesn't do much for him.
Doesn't do much for you.
Dude, no one's beating John Jones.
Stipe could.
DC
People who could
knocks
actually
him in the
be.
first round.
He got lucky.
Not dead.
The people who could actually beat John Jones.
Are 9.
No. Stipe Miocic.
I mean,
Daniel Cormier.
by
Yoel.
standard, do you say that?
Yoel Romero. Ben Askren.
I mean, can and will. None of them will beat Askren. I mean, John Jones.
Who can beat Askren in his weight class area?
No one.
Woodley?
They'll never fight.
I think he would beat Woodley.
Really? Maybe. They'll never ever fight. I've already said it. Never ever fight. Dude, talk about mental toughness. What Lawler did to Askren the first 30 seconds of that fight, for him to come back and rip his head off, is, without wrestling...
That's an animal right there. And then he's doing the Burroughs beat the streets.
He is wrestling Burroughs beat the streets.
Holler to my man Jesse Jansen, who's organizing it.
There you go.
He's the promoter.
I think Burroughs probably beats him.
Who do you like?
What do you think on that match?
I have Askren over Burroughs.
You are in love with Askren.
Askren, you're out there. Howdy.
Yeah, we need you on the pod.
Give me, if you were doing beat the streets, what would be some other matches you'd? Let's say everyone agreed to. What would you do?
Well, I saw someone tweeting out that it should be NCAA champions versus world team members.
Yeah.
I would enjoy that.
Well, that's what it is.
So it is. That's all happening.
Well, that's what like the theme is. Well, we have one match.
Burroughs and Askren. Neither
That's
of
the
them
main event. You got James Green versus Schnotty Ashnault. I can never pronounce how Flo's nickname for him is like, his real name is Anthony Ashnault.
Okay.
His nickname is like Schnalte or something.
Probably not true.
Maybe not.
So Gelman Lee, do you think that happens? They're both in the same
No.
club. Me neither.
Lee isn't even registered for the U.S. Open right
I
now.
saw Eddie Komar is back there.
Yeah.
Wild. So who's the 33?
Okay, so 33. This would be.
Soriano versus.
Oh yeah, it's not fixed. Soriano versus either Nishan Garrett or the guy from Iowa.
Oh, Cologne.
Cologne.
They probably both beat him.
They beat Soriano. Yeah.
Fix, on the other hand, would probably beat both of them.
Maybe not.
Oh, well, yes. True.
Maybe not.
41 Zane versus whoever.
No. Yanni.
Oh!
That's the match of the century.
Oh, is that happening?
No.
What are we talking about right now?
Nope.
All right, the 57 Green versus.
Ashnault.
No.
Well, we already have that match happening. Ashnault versus Green.
Other.
That's signed. You know that, right?
Did not know that.
Yeah. Anthony Ashnault versus James
Is
Green.
Off wrestling anybody?
No, not right now.
He seems too small.
So that's the thing. He's in between a weird weight class. So Nolf would have to go up to wrestle Burroughs, which I can't see that going
You
well.
stay down there enough. So is Date going down for the Olympics to Burroughs' weight?
This year he's going down.
Oh my! Is that happening at the U.S. Open?
This year. Well, Burroughs isn't wrestling at the U.S. Open.
He doesn't.
No, you don't have to.
Oh, well, Dake and everybody.
Dake has to. If you're on the world, if you're a returning world team member, you don't have to.
World team member, they're all world champs.
Well, I mean, but they don't have to because they're returning. But Dake's going next to a different weight class.
Oh.
He's going to Burroughs' weight class this year.
So the U.S. Open, are the Olympic trials this year? Next year.
World Team Trials. But the year before the Olympics is always a big year.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so it's this year's 2019 World Team Trials.
And he's going to try and face off against Burroughs
this year.
The weight.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's going out a year early.
World champ, he wants to go down early?
Get ready for the Olympics.
Gotta love that.
He thinks this is his year. Jaden Cox isn't doing that, though. Did you see that?
What?
Jaden Cox is staying at his weight. So next
I
year...
would stay in the weight for a year.
But you listen to David Taylor talk about getting adjusted to the new weight class. It took him like a year to get used to it.
That dude got huge.
So next year, Jaden Cox is either going to have to go up to wrestle Snyder or down to wrestle David Taylor.
Put it down, right?
I don't know. He's already beat Taylor several times.
Yeah. Weird matches, though.
Mm-hmm. He sweats a lot.
So, what do you think? Would you, if you were Dake, would you be going down or would you back up to the world
No,
title?
go down.
Huh. Couldn't disagree more.
Really?
Why not rack up another title? He didn't get scored on.
I'd go down.
Do you think he beats Burroughs this year?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Fired, folks.
And then here's the thing that you kind of forget about is, well, you got Derringer, you got Aymar. They're not really in the picture.
No.
You got Nolf, not really in the picture.
Too small.
But then you got the guy from Virginia Tech.
Lewis. Who? Right?
What's his first name?
Last name's Lewis, right?
Yeah.
Third tournament ever. He's
World champ.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So that's another thing where it comes to. So we coached
Ow!
a kid named Barlow McGee at Rock Island who started wrestling in 8th grade. 2-time state champ?
Mm-hmm.
2-time? At least 2-time finals for sure. But he's just an absolute monster, and he started in 8th grade.
Wrestled for Missouri.
Wrestled for Missouri D1. We started in kindergarten, and that's another thing we struggle with when and if we have kids that wrestle, when to start them. Right?
Totally, dude.
So what do?
You get them started early. Twice a week, just for fun. Get them in the Askren Club. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But then you got a really interesting character up top. You got Miles Martin, who might go freestyle. I think he's going to. Then you also got Bo Nickel. Now, Askren thinks he should just go UFC now.
Really?
Because he's not going to make the Olympic team, he said. He said he has zero chance of making the Olympic team.
And I agree. But, is he planning on UFC? He doesn't seem like
No, I read it. I read in the article.
In a book.
I did. I read it, though. He's trying to go, after 2020 Olympics, he's going fighting.
It just doesn't seem like a brawler to me. None of those Penn State dudes do you? They just seem really amazing at wrestling. Not saying they're not amazing at wrestling, because they obviously are.
I mean, they're the best.
But they just don't see, I guess we can look at Askren now. He's not a brawler.
No, he is. So
Nolf would be, what would he go, 205 or 84? What's the...
85 or 204?
What would he do, you think?
For fighting or for the Olympics?
Fighting.
Bet he goes up.
Yeah.
205.
To John Jones' weight.
Mm-hmm. So, if anyone could beat John Jones, it's Bo Nickel.
Oh my God, here we go.
I'll say it right now. If anyone can beat John Jones, it's Bo Nickel.
He's a better wrestler for sure.
Better wrestler.
That's where it ends.
No.
That's where it ends. He's never kicked before in his life. He's never struck. That's where it ends. He is a better wrestler, but obviously wrestling dictates where it goes. The thing about John Jones is DC couldn't take him down.
He took DC down.
I would say improved.
Who do you like in this super bracket?
Go.
Taylor, Cox, Nickel, Snyder, 4-man round robin.
Wow.
Records me now.
Taylor, Snyder, Nick, Cox, Nickel.
Okay.
Where do you go?
Snyder, of course.
Really? Yeah, 10 in the first period.
Jaden Cox.
Just even. What? Over Taylor, DT?
I'm just going by past results.
Magic Man?
Tanner's now laying down.
I'm comfy now.
He's slowly laying down on the couch.
I'm comfy.
All right. You have any rapid fires for me?
Favorite wrestling moment?
I would say walking in the tunnel with you,
Nice.
or
Getting tossed by Jimmy Good.
winning the bi-state probably.
That was amazing.
Or the...
After a review, right?
No, I won like 7-2.
Oh, I thought there was like a controversy.
Mm-mm.
Nice.
Semis was pretty tight.
Okay. Cedar Falls is a big win.
That was fun. Yeah. That doesn't come to mind, but yeah, it was.
Placing at Dvorak freshman year is always a big.
Mm-hmm. I mean, placing at state, like winning, beating Cameron Lloyd in the quarters Friday night was a big one. I remember that.
Yeah, that's big. What school is he wrestling for
Bremen.
Powerhouse.
His brother was at Mount Carmel his freshman year, won regionals, and at sectionals missed his weight by 8 pounds. Was not asked to return to Mount Carmel.
Next. Yeah, and then, alright, then last rapid fire for you before I fall asleep. Your favorite wrestler growing up?
John Smith or Joe Williams.
Okay. There you have it, folks.
Thanks for tuning in, gang. We'll talk to you on the flip side later.
Peace!
That's the end of this episode, but definitely not the end of the show. For more episodes, please go to wrestlingchangemylife.org. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Give us a star rating. Show the love, baby. Show the love. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Peace!